We have the red light for the second round of the Nissan Mobil 500 from Pukekohe as they come down the start-finish line. Do we get the green light? We are racing. Jimmy Richards, Emmanuel Pirot away from pole as they head down towards the Nissan sweeper into railway for the first time. It's Richards, Pirot through the track crowd. Look at that fantastic shot. As we look at the front three, Richards, Pirot, Brock, Jones, Waldock down the back straight for the first time.
Well, look at the GTR stretch its legs now. Those twin-turbo Nissan engines surely showing you how the Nissan does it at Pukekohe. But Brocky comes through to second place. He goes by the BMW Pirot, who's just running to form at the stage. The BMWs will drop a bit at the start. They're running full on fuel, a little bit down on horsepower compared with those big cars. But watch for Brocky make a move now on the GTR.
Kevin Waldock right in there too. An absolute flyer of a start there from the Queenslander, and to be the first of the Sierra Cosworths, and he nails Alan Jones on the inside as they head to the top of Mobil Mountain.
So it's Jimmy Richards, Peter Brock, Emmanuel Pirot down the front straight across the first start-finish line for the first time. Richards down in front. Brocky, Pirot, Waldock, Alan Jones. Then it's Dickie Johnson.
Well, we've got all the cars through the first lap bar one. Unfortunately, we've lost the little Toyota car that won the class last week. Steve Willey's car didn't make it to the line, but every other car is through and clean. No lockups at the end of the chute. The GTR has doubled its advantage down the back chute. Brocky, Pirot, Jones, Waldock.
At this stage, Jimmy Richards clocking a 103.1 for the first lap. Of course, he holds the lap record of a 101.4, and they're out to try and break the Group A lap record in today's Nissan Mobil 500. You think it's on, BL?
I think it's definitely on. The way that Richards is really setting the pace here in the opening laps is probably a good indication as to how they're going to run the race all the way through. It's flat out right from the start. Richards is not banking on any miscalculations or anything in the pits. He's there as a winner.
Okay, we're looking at one fuel stop or one pit stop for all cars. That's all they're telling us. We do know that some of the BMWs are running what we call light on fuel because they have to stop once and each driver must do 1/3 distance of the race. Possibly the BMWs are artificially fast at this point, but they won't reveal those clues to us, certainly.
Interesting talking to Peter Brock before the day. He was saying because of their 120 litres of fuel they can carry in the big Commodore, he has to drive and actually conserve a bit of the actual petrol load.
He's very close on fuel load. He could almost get through it, and if there's a few yellow lights or a few yellow flags, he could possibly get through on one stop. The BMW arguably could go through with no fuel stops, but they're not telling us.
Oh, really? So here's Brocky. He was saying that he's going to be coming up over this part of the course, Mobil Mountain, in fifth. He'll be whipping it down through into sixth down the start-finish line. They put a limiter on the revs.
Yeah, dropped the revs a little bit, just enough to try and conserve each little drop of fuel. He's worked it out. He might just make it. If the race runs fast, he might just make it on one stop. But he's got to go like a rabbit at the start to force the pace.
Down through the gears into third and then back up through the gears as they boot it down the back straight. Peter Brock in the 05 Holden Commodore, the big V8. This is what the crowd has come to see. The Nissan supercar out in front. The Mobil 05 Holden Commodore closing in. And Pirot Power currently lying in third place.
Well, the smooth circuit is helping this Nissan. That lovely sealed area there, the hairpin has been just really freshly sealed. And these cars like that. The transmissions certainly are being treated much nicer than they were at Wellington.
This is Kevin Waldock, the Queenslander, and the Ford Sierra Cosworth. Back into Alan Jones, and already Richards is in amongst the tail-enders, and he'll be using these to his advantage.
So it's Jimmy Richards across the start-finish line. He leads the early stages of the second round of the Nissan Mobil 500 from Peter Brock and Emmanuel Pirot.
By day, he was a scientific genius, but at night, he became a foul and feared monster.
Don't hurt me again, please.
8:30 Monday, the classic tale of one man's tortured battle between good and evil.
More trouble than any man alive.
And the woman who defied society to become his lover, and then became his victim.
Who is he, Henry?
For the first time on television, Michael Caine and Cheryl Ladd.
Somebody please help me!
In Robert Louis Stevenson's classic horror story, Jekyll and Hyde, 8:30 Monday on 3.
Mobil is the #1 supplier of commercial lubricants to New Zealand commerce and industry. So what would happen if we weren't here to help? Call the nation's #1 supplier of lubricants and get your business going. Mobil. We help keep the country running.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Great country. And a great cup of tea.
Oh, close your eyes and make a wish. Combo, big chicken, what a dish. Combo, a quarter pounder too. Combo, Big Mac, hey Jack, a combo keeps you on the track. Ba-da-widdly-ah-do-wee-ah-do-wee-ay. Ba-da-widdly-ah-do-wee-ah-do-wee-ay. Let us tell you, honey, you can save a lot of money. You just choose your favorite one. It's McDonald's, so it's fun. Ba-da-widdly-ah-do-wee-ay combo.
We have the red light for the second round of the Nissan Mobil 500 from Pukekohe as they come down the start-finish line. Do we get the green light? We are racing. Jimmy Richards, Emmanuel Pirro, away from pole as they head down towards the Nissan sweeper into railway for the first time. It's Richards, Pirro, through the track crowd. Look at that fantastic shot. As we look at the front three, Richards, Pirro, Brock, Jones, Waldock, down the back straight for the first time.
Well, look at the GTR stretch its legs now.
Talking about stretching its legs, David Oxton was, and here he is, Jimmy Richards, in the supercar, #2. Already unofficially, we have clocked him at around about 60.9 seconds. So it looks like he may have already broken that lap record, which he set last year, but we'll confirm that as we update the current placings early on in the second round of the Nissan Mobil 500. Richard Skate first in the Nissan GTR. Brock has moved up to second place in the big Commodore. Pirro currently lying in third place in the 3 Sport Schnitzer BMW M3, the winner last week in Wellington. Fourth on the road, it's Kevin Waldock in the Ford Sierra. Then it's Alan Jones in car 25, the BMW M3. Dickie Johnson currently holding 6th place in the Ford Sierra at Cosworth. #7 at this stage, it's Kane Scott in another Sierra, followed by Roger Freeth up there in 8th place, running inside the top 10 in the Holden Commodore. Dave Barrow, Brian Bolwell, Ford Sierra, 9th on the road at this stage. Looking at the other placings, Denny Holm, Bobby Francic at the wheel of car 54, the BMW M3. And then it's the first of the Porsches, car 7, Owen Evans up there in 11th place, followed by the BMW M3 of Ian Spurl, car 53, that got across the finish line today, or the start-finish line, and have certainly got off to a better start than what they did last week in Wellington. Then it's Nigel Arkell and Dave Slater of the car 15, 13th at the stage, followed by Ferguson Williams, Pierce Porsche, and then it's the Torque Steve Elliott, Holden Commodore, in 15th place at the moment. So, gentlemen, we could be looking at a 1, 2, 3, Nissan first, Mobil second, and perhaps GB3 Sport BMW third. What do you reckon, guys?
Well, certainly a great run from Pirro in that car with the big long back straight, but they're doing a great job. It's a much lighter car. It's probably a little easier to drive, and they'll just be keeping their pace. They're keeping Brocky in their sights. Brock and Turner's nursing this thing along, and there's the blue flag being waved, indicating to the slower cars that there's some fast machinery right behind it.
What about down to Wellington? The slower cars always cause a bit of havoc with the walls of Wellington and the bumps. Different story here with the power circuit of Pukekohe.
There's more opportunity for passing at this circuit because certainly they can be seen easier and they can take advantage of fast entry to corners. But certainly I think the drivers enjoy it more because they get more into their style here. Even the slower cars don't have to constantly be looking in the mirrors for the faster cars. It's a very important race for even the Toyota guys or the Group N cars like Ed Lamont's Holden Commodore.
Fantastic shots here down the start-finish line. Peter Brock, Emanuele Pirro. I was privileged to go for a lap around the track in this little fantastic car, the Schnitzer car. It is unbelievable the amount of hard work that they actually do inside the car. In fact, Emanuele Pirro drives with the cool suit. Peter Brock, who's currently in second place, is looking at investing in a cool suit because he knows it's such hard work driving that big Commodore.
Now this looks ominous for Brocky in the sense that Emanuele Pirro has hooked onto the back of him and is using him as a little bit of a towmobile. He's setting his pace nicely. These BMW guys have got some strategy going. We're not being told what it is. They wouldn't reveal when they intend to stop for fuel. They wouldn't even reveal how much fuel is in that car now. So they're playing their cards very close to their chest. The pace is very, very good for this car. One would have expected Brocky to be able to pull away.
The funny thing is, BL, it's always been a bit of a bad luck circuit for the BMW team. Always win Wellington, but then bad luck here at Pukekohe.
It seems to be the case looking back through the record books, and I think that we're going to see Brock under even more pressure any minute now from Pirro as he closes in on him. And of course, again, we get back to those slower cars that are going to cause the odd problem here, not as much as Wellington, but somebody like Brock and Pirro, those sort of guys, they can use this as to their advantage. That little car on the screen there, the red BMW, that's the John Sachs car that was so badly damaged last weekend, and what a fantastic effort by his crew to get it back here today.
And Steve Taylor teaming up with Coombs at the wheel of the red BMW. Here's Robbie Francovic in the BMW M3. Fourth last week in Wellington, third this time last year in the Pukekohe round. So let's check out the field here as Peter Brock. And it's the Bolwell Barrow Ford Sierra moving up through the slower field through the Nissan Mobil 500. Here's the overall point situation. Pirro and Winkelhock out in front with that win, 23 points, followed by the Brock Perkins Commodore with 15. Richards and Scaife, 14th, holding third at this stage, but already they've picked up 3 points for qualifying. So the word is that if Richards wins the race today, and if Pirro or Winkelhock finish third, it would probably still go to the BMW team for the overall series points, but we'll keep a close eye on that later on in the race. In the meantime, let's update the action pit side. Here's Murray Taylor.
Well, 15 minutes into the race, and we've had our first pit caller. It was Kane Scott in the Whittaker's car. Mark Petch, what was the problem?
Kane was complaining about a steering problem. He felt that something was wrong in the steering, and the wheel was coming around on the straight, and he had to keep correcting more than he should have when he was driving down the straight. So we couldn't find anything wrong with it, so we've sent him out for a few laps to see whether it gets worse.
So we could well see him back in again?
Well, I'm hoping so. It's a steering, you know, it's a steering rack problem, maybe.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
And there is the Ford Sierra, the Kane Scott, Brett Riley car. They've had reliability problems down in Wellington. Interesting, Kane Scott was saying was twitching like crazy on the street circuit. And they've still had problems here. In fact, Dickie Johnson, as we're saying during practice, the team forgot to actually bolt down the bonnet latch, and it blew up in his face and smashed the windscreen. So they have had all sorts of trouble, including the car 17 Dick Johnson car at the moment, because they actually had dropped the motor in practice, and Paul Radisich was amazed. They rebuilt the motor from 3 overnight to get the Dick Johnson Sierra on the track today.
Dick Johnson's team is not running that car. I must make it quite clear that the Queensland superstar normally runs the Aussie-based outfit. He's only here as a driver in that car.
It's a bit of a holiday for Tricky Dicky as he gets Neil Lowe back in Queensland working on the development of the EV8 Ford Falcon halfway through next year's Australian Touring Car Championships. But here is the current Aussie Touring Car champ, four-time Bathurst champ, Jim Richards at the wheel of Godzilla. Is it looking great or what? Look at Freddie Gibson. I wonder what's going through his mind at the moment, Bree.
He's having a bit of a discussion there with Richo, just keeping an eye on things. It's one of the beauties of the contact between the team manager and the driver these days. It's really very much a necessity, and obviously something that Richards and Gibson will be relying on throughout today's event.
Well, what they would be talking about, you can be sure, is tyres. Jimmy knows that the four-wheel drive Nissan car has an advantage here, but what he has to be careful of is that in his exuberance to get a lead, he doesn't what we call overheat the tyres, make them blister. They are a slick tyre. We went through all that last week. The tyres have no tread whatsoever. But if they're forced at very, very high speeds for a long period at a sort of top pace, they will blister, and the performance of the tyre goes away. The car then goes slower, and then it has to make an unscheduled stop. So that's what they will be talking about.
Updating the top three at this stage. It's a man
at all. So obviously the people up there are checking that gap. So let's see what the action is. Let's keep an eye. The car looks good. There's no dents. Nice clean car. Only a little bit of damage on the left front where the tyre damaged early on when that car got a puncture.
Okay, looks like Mark Scaife is back on race pace with a 1:05.65, and the gap. Now, we'll just try and update the situation because it looks like, according to the computer, that Winkelhock is in front on 109 laps, and that Mark Scaife is currently second.
Well, we're telling you as we're being told. I can't see where that place would have changed. We'll bring you up to date when it's confirmed. The Nissan GTR showing up on our screens as being relegated to second by Jochen Winkelhock. So we'll see if we can get Mark Scaife via Fred Gibson, via Murray Taylor to update us on what's happening, but certainly from where we're sitting, we didn't see anything happening.
Fred, there seems to be a bit of confusion just with our viewers here. What's happening out there?
Well, we think we're leading by about 24 seconds with Winkelhock second, and I think Longhurst should be third. But I don't really know the second and third situation, but I know we're 24 seconds ahead of the Piro and Winkelhock car.
Okay, so you're still on schedule. As far as you're concerned, things are still okay?
Still no problem at all. We're still on schedule. We're still sort of doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Are you happy with this pace you're setting now?
Yeah, we're just pacing ourselves now really to Winkelhock. Sort of see what he's doing, we're doing the same. So, like, hopefully we'll keep going then that way.
Okay, you'll be smiling soon, Fred?
In about another 20 laps. Hope so, Murray.
That's the smiling Freddie Gibson, and we can confirm that at this stage there is a problem with our computer system and that the results are invalid, so that the details coming through that saying that this car slipped back to second place is not correct. And we go by Freddie Gibson's and the Nissan Motorsport team at this stage until the system has been sorted out. Of course, it's a fantastic system which keeps everyone up to date with the cars, the laps, and just a minor problem at the moment. So it's the Nissan unofficially still out in front by about 24 seconds, back to Jochen Winkelhock. And the system is now showing that they're back on the same laps. So that should be sorted out pretty soon by Unisys. Demanding job too, no doubt, just as demanding sometimes as some of the drivers.
For little car fans, I can tell you that Kirk Stoneman has moved to the front of the Toyota Corolla bunch. In fact,
we have it off on the Mobil Mountain there.
Barry Bould in the Holden Commodore VN, the Group N car. He's just actually probably run out of grunt or something. I don't think he's... let's see if we can probably...
Looks a bit low on the old...
Yeah, the left front does look a little bit tardy there.
As you can see, the crowd just moving in to check out the situation with that Commodore running in the Group N class.
Maybe he's lost a wheel. He is certainly concerned about that left front corner.
Yeah, that's Brian Bate, the current Group N champion.
I think he's going to look for a spare wheel, guys.
You get the wheel brace and the jack out. I mean, whatever, it's normal, isn't it? If the wheel comes off, there's one in the back, let's put it on.
So while the spares comes out, we'll be back with more action. This is the race leader, Mark Scaife, in the supercar, living up to its reputation so far today.
phone's running hot Thursday.
He wanted to take someone down to the golf course behind the bushes there and slowly take off the...
And the old bat keeps answering it.
Have I got completely the wrong end of the stick, or do you have a flat of your own in this house?
It seems there's just no getting away from her.
I've just had a great idea. Why don't we take our mothers out to dinner with us?
Brand new British comedy with Fawlty Towers, Brunella Scales.
Not a sound from either of you, or I shall lock you in your flat.
After Henry, just before Shelley. Thursday at 7:30 on TV3.
Oh, close your eyes and make a wish. Combo, McChicken, what a dish. Combo, a quarter pounder too. Combo, Big Mac, hey Jack, a combo keeps you on the track. Bada-willy-yada-wee-yada-wee-yay. Bada-willy-yada-wee-yada-wee-yay. Let us tell you, honey, you can save a lot of money. You just choose your favorite one. It's McDonald's, so it's fun. Bada-willy-yada-wee-yay combo.
There's a new way to protect the resale value of your vehicle. Wins Revive. So easy to use. Spray-on protection for all vinyl, rubber, leather, plastics. Renews, beautifies, protects.
We can't stop your car from getting older, but we can sure make it look and feel like new. Wins Revive. It works like magic.
Sunbeam, the hairdryers with more muscle than most.
Hi, I'm David Jorgensen. Buy the top VHS Panasonic brand video camcorder this week and I'll give you this $500 accessory package free. Plus, we'll trade your old one. Only at Jorgensen's Corner, Henderson Valley and Great North Road, Henderson.
The sun can damage and age your skin. But new Formula Eversun with vitamin E and 2 moisturizers can rejuvenate and nourish your skin. Play it safe in the sun with Eversun from Roche.
Welcome back to 3 Sport Live and exclusive. The Power Day at Pukekohe. It's the Nissan Mobil 500 round 2, and car number 2 is the race leader, Mark Scaife, and the Nissan GTR. Around about 25 seconds back to Winkelhock. And here's the dice for third at the moment. It's coming up, as you can see, it's Larry Perkins there in the Commodore, and right behind him, Tony Loghurst and the car 25 B&H BMW M3. So the little Aussie guys having a real scrap here.
We had a neat camera on that corner there where Larry Perkins lifts his wheel over, and I think he's killed it stone dead earlier on because we were getting some great shots. But
bit of curb hopping.
Larry Perkins stretching the legs of the V8 as he pulls away from Tony Longhurst in the little 4-cylinder BMW. But watch the gap close up under brakes every time he gallops them in.
Longhurst just got caught by the slower traffic then down the back straight. Let's see if he gets a clear run now to see if he can try and close that gap. Fantastic effort by the team, isn't it, after the smash last weekend?
Absolutely brilliant. They've really put something together. The drivers now are coming up over the top of the hill, and just a little bit to the right of your screen, just going off it a wee bit, is Brian Bate at the moment, absolutely flat out, trying to replace the left front wheel on the V and Holden Commodore that he's sharing with Barry Bell from Palmerston North. And the rules state that any repairs outside the pits may be carried out by the driver alone, using any tools or parts transported in his car. And there's Brian Bate, a rather precarious position, very much so, on this extremely fast sweeping right-hand turn. He's looking under there, trying to sort it out. With only the race with, what, 2 hours and 8 minutes it's been going so far, but I guess if they've gone this far, Good old Batesy, he's a good racer right through until the end.
I don't know about you guys, but I think if it was me, I'd be driving the thing around until I got to his place where I felt safe. I mean, racing is racing. Sometimes those cars come up over Mobil Mountain and they just got nowhere to go. They just go right off the track.
Over the top of Mobil Mountain, and this is Jochen Winkelhock. We'll check out the lap board. That's the lap board there from Charlie Lamb. 6:17.
61 minus 29 seconds off the leader. And Charlie, at least, reckons it's something over 10 laps to go.
Just can't quite see how many laps to go according to the 10 laps to go then. So it's the Nissan out in front.
We're unlucky enough, I believe, that somewhere between the pits and our commentary positions, a car has run over the cables that control the Unisys computer. So it's unlucky. Whoop, a bit of action there for the Kerm Sachs car.
And that's ironic because if you take a look now at the hairpin, you'll see Larry Perkins coming into shot soon. And they've got past the John Sachs Coombs car, which today has been driven by Steve Taylor. And that's the little wee red BMW. So both those cars in the big smash last weekend.
How close is this? Look at the gap between Longhurst and Perkins. He must be going to have a go down the hill on the outside. He'll go in for the big suck. He's right up there. Will he go for the outside? Will he go for the inside? Great stuff from Longhurst and the BMW. He'll be pressuring Perkins. He's trying to make Larry lock up or lose a bit of grunt going into the turn at the end of, or the start of the back straight. And that's working for Longhurst, that. The Subaru has slowed Perkins slightly. Look at Longhurst, goes in behind for the big slipstream. He's sitting in behind, making sure that he makes every one of those ponies work for him.
Really belting it down the back straight. The big V8 still pulling out. Now it's that crucial time. Under brakes. See if the little wee beamer can close in.
Well, not quite the close-up we would have expected. Maybe the ABS of the Schnitzer car gives him that little bit more advantage and has allowed them to close up on Perkins, but Perkins will be sweating like a dog in this sort of condition. It's a hot day out here at Pukekohe. No sign of any rain. Hot conditions. The tyres are working to the limit. And Longhurst is in his element. He's pushing and pushing and pushing, just like a Doberman on the back of Perkins.
Very, very quick. Winner of Bathurst back at 88. Tony Longhurst. Larry Perkins. Nice race lines. Back into the back straight. Whoa, a little bit sideways there, but under control.
Hooping it up.
This is the lap situation according to the Nissan Motorsport team. 124 laps gone, a 101.9, the last lap by Mark Scaife. Fastest time.
Something optimistic, I would have thought.
Is that a 56 point?
That would be faster than the outright 5,000 time if it was believable. But anyway,
we'll have to double check that at the end of the race because it's the official lap record here in Pukekohe is held by Frank Matic in a McLaren going back 20 years ago to 1971.
So we're in the last 10 laps of the Nissan Mobil Classic race of endurance at Pukekohe. Mark Scaife is your leader, the Nissan GTR. Manuel Pirro and Jochen Winkelhock at the wheel in the M3 BMW. Fighting it out is for third place Larry Perkins in the V8 Commodore, the Mobil car, and Tony Longhurst in the BMW M3, the B&H car, number 25.
Well, this is certainly a very fitting end to Nissan's efforts in motorsport in the South Pacific this year. They won the Australian Touring Car Championship with expat Kiwi Jimmy Richards at the wheel. They won Bathurst when he shared this car here with Mark Scaife. And to finish off the 1991 Group A touring car season with a win here at Pukekohe would be very fitting to the team led by Fred Gibson, himself a former driver, a very, very experienced man, and what a great crew they put together here. At this stage, the Nissan Mobil 500 Series for 1991 looks like, at this point with just a few laps remaining, going to the German Castrol Schnitzer BMW team led by Charlie Nam with Emanuele Pirro and Jochen Winkelhock at the wheel of the car right now.
We do know that Denny Hull in the sister car, or the appearance of the car, is very similar to the car number 1 on your screen now, is in the top 6. He's in fact 6th place. He's taken over from Robert Fancevic, and he's out there doing a great job for NZ, Denny Hull. There's the 3 Sport car, certainly burning it up, pulling a healthy lead on The Castrol supported Ian Spurl.
And that gap, the gap between the second car and the first car is basically half a lap at this stage, because as Winkelhock goes into the hairpin, this is Scaife just coming into the entrance of the back straight.
Well, you've got to say this is situation normal for this car, guys. This is the way this car ran all year. In the short races, in the long races, whether it was Richo driving it or Mark Scaife, it was dominant. They just had a bit of a hiccup in proceedings last week. They were taken out by the bumps at Cable Street, and this is really the way this car likes to run at the front. Even with a puncher, it didn't seem to slow its real progress. Ultimately, it was going to win. I think everyone predicted in the pit road that it was the car that was going to win, providing it stayed together, and it looks on course to do that.
We're certainly going to see a few changes to this car for next year when they start and weigh it down. It arrived on the scene and it was far too good. And it's normally not motorsport technology that they say, well, it's too fast. I mean, that's what motor racing is all about. But however, it's going to bring it into line with everything, and it's going to keep the excitement there, because motorsport is one of the very many entertainment industries in New Zealand.
Certainly has been a very entertaining series. The next year in the Aussie Touring Car Champs, this will have 40 extra kilos and 140 less horsepower, while the Holdens will have limiters on the rev ratios. And the car that will probably escape with the best deal will be the BMW M3 of Tony Longhurst again. All it picks up is a little bit more weight.
Well, of course, we are in the Nissan Mobil series, and if everything finishes as it is finishing or running at this time, Manuel Pirro and Jochen Winkelhock will take out the series
with 40 points overall, and Scaife and Richards will be second with 37 points. So it'll be just 3 points the difference between the two teams.
But it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Freddie Gibson looking pretty happy there with the performance of his two drivers at the moment. Mark Scaife, who also won the Australian Formula Brabham Championship this year. He's had a great year.
What a great year for Jim Richards. He really liked winning Bathurst this year because it was the first year that he really won himself. Up till now, everyone said, oh, Jimmy Richards, he won Bathurst 3 times. And everyone then says, yes, but it was Peter Brock's car, wasn't it? So this is really Jimmy's year. He's 4-time touring car champion on his own, twice in a BMW, twice in a Nissan. But the big deal for Jimmy this year, and for Mark Scaife, of course, was cleaning up Bathurst in the Nissan.
Disappointment of losing Wellington, but they'll make up for it today with the powerful performance of Pukekohe. Mark Scaife, 2 laps to go. Should be coming around the sweeper and then over Mobil Mountain into the final lap. Just reminding you that the computer system has actually had a minor little dropout.
Well, as I started to say, Clint, someone has unfortunately run over the wires that are linking our computer with the central wiring system. So bad luck. Unisys have provided us with great coverage in the 2 races up to this point.
So it's Mark Scaife in the final lap of the second round of this Mobil 500. There's the flag man. And here is the man who's going to take the checkered flag. There's Jimmy Richards. A great drive to set up the win today. So it'll be a fantastic performance for the Nissan GTR team. Second at the moment, it's Jochen Winkelhock in the 3-Sport Schnitzer BMW. And at this stage, we still think it's Perkins who's holding off Larry Perkins, Tony Longhurst for 3rd and 4th. They're just starting their final lap right now. And it's still Perkins out in 3rd, Longhurst closing in on 4th. So it's over the top of Mobil Mountain. And it's Mark Scaife, along with his co-driver, gentleman Jim Richards, coming down, and they take the checkered flag. Mark Scaife, Jim Richards, and the Nissan GTR supercar have won the second round of the Nissan Mobil 500 at Pukekohe. Fantastic effort. Congratulations to Freddie Gibson and the team. Mark Scaife holds the hand up, the sign of victory today, picking up their first win in the Nissan series. Here's the car which is going to be second. It was first last week. Jochen Winkelhock crashed last year in this race, so he'll be glad to win second today, but they win the series in the Nissan Mobil 500. The 3-sport Schnitzer BMW M3, and the big clash for third. And Perkins just holds on to third from Tony Longhurst right on the line. Fantastic finish between those two Aussie drivers as well. So, Tenny Holm and Robbie Francevic just crossing the line now.